Good evening. Good evening. I am sorry it was so late, but we had to have a clan meeting. There were some issues that we needed to clear, and it took some time. I'm sorry. Come on. I have to butcher this. Yeah, it ended. Come on, go in. Don't do this at home the way I do it. Come on. For fuck's sake. Thank you. Okay. This is in. Very important part. This is gonna make sure that everything here is a lot more structurally sound. Fuck off. So we are going to make changes in the front suspension as well. But first, we got to finish the rear. Come on. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have a brick that would fit in here. No, we don't. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I predict that as well. So we are probably going to completely rebuild the front suspension. Like, completely. There's a few there's many problems with the current setup that nobody is really happy with. And we're gonna go through with it just as soon as I manage to wedge this in. Okay. Yeah, it's worse. It's not that bad, it's worse. Okay. Yeah. That's as good as it gets. You know. If this happens, then it happens. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can test it tomorrow. If this this happens in a engine test, but oh yeah, the top one we still need to fix, and I fucked up. Okay, we need it here. I mean here, but for this to happen, we need a rather large piece, and of course we need a pin in here that we cannot put in as long as this is in here. Okay. Come on. Fucking hell. Okay. Okay. While we are here, we can change this thing here for a regular disarm. For a regular one. So we have this thing in here. We have this thing here. I think. Oh. That, yeah. Okay. Some more violence. Okay. 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 So this is now as good as it gets. I mean, the rear suspension is really, I think it's as good as it gets. It's simpler than the other side. And everything here now is very strong. Very strong. This is strong in both directions. Even torsionally. I mean, the slack that we see here is just the slack in the ball joints here, and as long as we are using the small ball joints, there's always gonna be slack. So yeah, we'll see what happens when the wheels are on, but for now, because of the camber, but I think we are gonna be good with the camber. It's gonna be fine. Anyway, and even if it's not, we have options to adjust the camber here in the rear a little bit, so it's not the end of the world. But and there's a big but. Okay, so hear me out. There are a few issues here. Yeah, there's a few issues here, not just one. Let me show you. So first, the most obvious, the most obvious ones. First, this is super soft. I mean, this is really super soft. It is way too soft, and there is no way we can squeeze another one of these springs in. I see absolutely no way of having this spring further out, mounted further out here on the hub, for example. On the hub, it's mounted now here. That's the axis of the spring mount. So the further out we would go, further out we would mount the spring, the better it would be. But that's not possible, because when we just a second, the servo is engaged. Let me disengage it. Come on. Okay. So the problem then is that the suspension is gonna clash with the spring. So if this was one stud further out, maybe, but then we would not be able to mount the longitudinal link, which we need, because if the longitudinal link is not there, this would just flap around. So we have to have something. Ideally, of course, if this was an ideal world, the spring here would be mounted exactly here, but this is not that kind of world. And even if it was mounted here, I suspect it would not be strong enough. The Sierra springs, and even these springs here in the Sierra, would be better in the sense that the Sierra springs are mounted directly. So the Sierra springs, if we would have Sierra springs mounted here, we would need to mount them here in order to achieve the same ratio. You know, because we have a lever here. It's a 7 stud long lever. And the spring, the mount point of the spring here determines the amount of leverage that we have. So the Sierra spring would be mounted here for a 1-to-1 ratio, because it's a McPherson's setup, and the Sierra, the suspension is making use of 100% of the spring force of the spring. That's not the case here, because the spring is not mounted here. It's mounted further inwards. So if it was mounted here, so in this position, it would be 50-50. So the ratio would be 50-50, which means that the spring would need to be a lot stiffer than it is. So it's mounted a little bit out, but this is still not enough. The spring is still not stiff enough, because this is just, you know, it's nothing. As soon as you put weight on it, you know, it just remains there. It doesn't do anything. So this, as long as there's no weight on it, it's, you know, nice and springy, but it fails. It needs to be stiffer. We have the opposite problem in the rear. The rear is too stiff, but in the rear we have the springs are actually mounted directly to the hub, and are you know, they are the way we would want the springs to be. So if I remove one spring, this is approximately what I would want the front suspension to be. You know, the problem, of course, is that we have just one spring mounted and they're not symmetrical, which of course doesn't work. We need to have two springs. Ideally, two springs that would be a bit softer than these two, because this is pretty stiff. But I guess we will kind of have to live with it. I mean, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. You know, I would like them to be a little bit softer, but what can I do? These are the springs we have. But that's not a problem in the rear, you know. Really, I mean, they are there. They're supporting the car and the weight. But in the front, it's a problem because those springs do not support the weight. But this is just one of the problems of the suspension. That's not all of them. That's just one of them. Uh, so the second one is what Christian said: parts. Do these even exist with Kata? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Uh, Even if they do, we have other problems. So even if those parts exist, we have problems on the top. Yeah, the rear goes together without violence, but for this to happen, you would need to build them, you know, build it, you know, step by step. I just couldn't be bothered to disassemble all of this in order to have it mounted without violence. I just, you know, I chose violence. Um, you know, happens sometimes. I will ask them. I will ask them. But still, um, I don't know. So the other problem is concerning the top arms. So the top arms, the way we have mounted everything here, the top arms cannot go straight on because they're hitting the spring. So we have to have some arrangement to go out, around the spring. Problem is the top arms, the way we have them constructed here, are garbage because this happens constantly. No matter what you do, this they and this is with Lego axles. With Kata axles, it's gonna be even worse. So we cannot have this setup. Sadly, this is not gonna go. So we need to construct something different. We don't have a lot of room to do much different because the steering rack is already here, you know, and the hard springs that we have from Lego and also exist from Kata have another problem because so if we use, let's say, any of these here, their problem is that they are too stiff and they can, if not mounted properly, so if we mount them not centrally, you know, they will do this, and as soon as they do this, it doesn't go anywhere. They're stuck. As soon as they are not centrally mounted, they are stuck. They need to be mounted perfectly in order to be able to do their springy motion. So we need to be very, very careful how we mount them. And they have just 1.5 studs of travel, so this means that they would absolutely not be mounted at the edge of the suspension. They would be mounted in the middle, basically. But then we have room for just one, and we need to see how this goes. That's the issue. So we need to redesign the hub, the lower suspension arms, and the upper suspension arms, and the mount point of the spring. Everything, basically. Which is a problem, which I don't know how to resolve. I was thinking about it. What? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Pretty much that's what's happening. What the fuck? I cannot stop this GIF. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So what do we do here? That's the question. What do we do here? I mean, I want this to be simple. This is too complicated. This is way too complicated. It needs to be simpler. No, I'm afraid not. I am afraid not, but we are probably gonna have to go with suboptimal pivot point positions. This would, of course, mean that we need to compromise on this here. The problem is going to be, of course, the rocker panel. It's going to be a compromise, but I guess we can live with that. Another issue is going to be, is it going to hit yeah, I'm afraid so. I am very afraid so. I would place the lower, yeah, I would place the lower pivot a bit lower if we can. It's too high. Lower pivot needs to be lower. But yeah, I mean, I have vomit in my mouth when just looking at it, but it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to do this. Plus, of course, this part here needs to be smaller. Yeah, I know KPR is gonna be worse, but it's the pivot is just too high. I think. Yeah, definitely too high. It needs to be lower because otherwise we cannot fit it. You know, if it's one stud lower than on your picture, then it's gonna be where this is now. Otherwise, we need to lower the whole. We need to. The arm is gonna be one stud higher, even, and this is gonna be way too high. Way too high. I mean, ideally, the arm would be even lower, but that's not gonna happen. You know, ideally we would have the pivot point. So basically, the arm would be on the level on the same level with the chassis, like in the rear. So, you know, in the rear we have the suspension arms in the same level as the chassis, and ideally we would have the same thing in the front. Right now we don't. Right now the arms are, you know, they are essentially one stud mounted one stud further in, but hmm, fuck me. See, this is the this is the problem here. I mean, obviously what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a quick mock-up of the current setup, so we don't fiddle with this here. We are gonna, of course, do the suspension in another mock-up of this, so we can always compare what we are doing to this. But yeah, I mean, we have to do something different. So yeah, let me make a quick copy of this. Just noticed. I don't have this here. Okay. Oh, no, 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 Ben. Not back to this. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ah, of course. Okay, so we have the mock-up of the front here, so we can, play with it. This is still there, so we can take stuff off of it if we need it, for example, the steering rack, but the steering rack is not that important right now. So I'm gonna put this aside for now. Okay. Just let me mark something. We need to mark the center of. Okay. So the blue pin is kind of the center of the axis of the suspension. Just so that we don't forget. Okay. Yep. Okay. So we need 7 studs from here. So the suspension arm, then a hub, and then a 5 stud on top. So what Ben said is absolutely out of the question, simply because if we do this, this is gonna pop out constantly, and this is not something we are ever gonna deal with. So this is gonna be a major inbuilt weak point of the suspension, which, you know, as you have seen with the rear, where we thought that everything was fine, you know, even there, we need to design this as if this has brakes, almost. So if this has brakes, of course, this means that the car is going to be pulling on the hubs, so they need to be, you know, strong. And if we introduce this here, this is even gonna pop out on normal driving. So that's not really what I want. Mm-hmm. So ideally, we want I'm just gonna take this here, whatever. Ideally, we would want the ball joint to be like this. Here, I would like the ball joint to be here. I mean, basically here. Because if we have it here, that makes the steering the arm too high, so we have to go one stud lower, like here. I think we can. Not sure if we're gonna use this, but we would like to be one stud lower here. Yeah. We want to be here. Like this. Easier said than done, of course. Easier said than done. Now we need to see which hub we're gonna use. So we would like to be here. don't take this too seriously, what I'm doing right now. Just want to see if this has any chance whatsoever. Kind of does. Looks a bit clumsy, but it kind of does. Yeah, but ideally, I would not want it to be here. Yeah, see, this is the problem. Ideally, we would want this to be, this point here, to be one step closer. We cannot have that. Not even half a stat closer, without doing horrible things to things here. You know, half a stat closer would be ideal. I mean, ideal. Would be better. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I will ask if I can get them. I will ask if I can get them. I would like to have them. I have no opinion because I, at the moment, have no real idea how exactly they work, but they probably have a worm gear in them that's you know, when you are turning it, it turns it, but I don't know. Have to see. I'm pretty sure it's brilliant. I am pretty sure it's brilliant. Because it has the two attachments for the forks and everything. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, this has the problem that I don't know how to fix this in position, but it has the good part is that this is never gonna move. So basically, this is really gonna be fixed. I don't like this. This sucks. Sucks. What about this? If we try to fix this onto this, because we have axle on axle, axle hole on axle hole. Let's see. So we would need to kind of fix it somewhere here. But that's probably not gonna happen. Probably not gonna happen. This wouldn't make it any better, because with this we get a half a stud offset because of this. So we're better off going one stud up, and yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna happen either. Oh yeah. That. How much is this gonna limit the drought of this? How much? Yeah. No. I don't think so. No. No. Nope. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Just yeah. I do, but just let me think of something. This is way too high. If we have it here, like you suggest, that's way too high. It needs to be here. That's way too high. I would even go lower, you know. I would even go. I would even go lower. I mean, but you know, that's the best we can do. Ideally, we would have it here and one stud further in, but we have to settle for this. Mm. What? Ideally, we would have it like this, but then we don't have a connection here. Because this is just what fits. Just. Apparently. I don't like it, but I'm just throwing up ideas. Like, throwing up literally. On upper ear. What? What do you mean on upper ear? I mean, it kind of works. Sucks, but does clear. Oh, right. Yeah. I don't like this at all. Yes, we have the mount point, but everything else looks like poop. Looks like poop. Well, we could make it better. Slightly less poop. Slightly better. This is probably enough for movement. Or is this gonna be limiting? Nah, that's. I think that's enough. Maybe. Mm. You know what I want? Why I want this here? Because the lower this is, the the more control you have on the wheel. Higher it is, worse it is. And if you have it here like we have in the charger, then you have to have the upper ball joint higher, so that it gets some leverage. Yeah, but this is. I mean, these are. I can hear them rubbing. It's okay. You know, it kinda has the room, but you can hear it rubbing because of the slack in the system. And as Christian said, if we have this here at the bottom, then we have to have a pretty steep kingpin. Yeah, it is. It is. This is shit. This is shit. I agree. This is garbage. This is garbage. It's just, I had to do it to get it out of the system. It is garbage. I mean, if we had, we had a sensible way of doing this. Yeah, spring on upper wishbone is out of the question. I mean, this is shit. This severely. I mean, in this direction it's fine. This direction is garbage. Plus we have the classic thing where this is definitely gonna be pulled out. I mean, we could make a pushrod of some sort, I guess. You know, if the space is problematic, we could do a pushrod, and with the pushrod we could experiment with spring stiffness and stuff. But where do we put the springs? That's the other question with the pushrod. You know, with the pushrod, I don't know. The pushrod we could have this mounted, I don't know, here, like that, and then the rod itself would be mounted on this, on the hub itself. I guess not on the wishbone, but on the hub itself, in a way. You know, like the big boys do. I don't know. We could have. Mm, I don't know. For example, this has enough room because um, the pushrod itself pivots around both of these. So you know, it kinda will give us, depending on how we position this, of course, it will give us, you know, it should give us enough room. Or if we position it like this, you know, I don't know. This is so frustrating. Can you think? Do you have an idea? Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. What can we do with this? Can we do something with this? Typical. Typical. Hmm. I mean, obviously we would place this higher. This needs to be a little bit higher. Yeah, it needs to be higher. How do we place this higher? In an elegant way. Okay. So this axle here needs to be pins. Side. This. Otherwise, this is not gonna spin. Okay. How do we make this hard? Higher and stiffer. We need to make it higher and stiffer. Of course. I agree. I agree. I mean, we can make this lower. Should one stud lower. One stud lower, or maybe, because right now. I mean, we could make it like straight and use a different part here, for example this here, to offset it on the other side, and then we could have the spring in the middle with having caster. Like this. I have no idea how to mount the spring, but what do you mean 6? It's 7. 5 plus 2 is 7, and the fiver on top. What if we mount this to the car? What if we mount this to the car and see what happens? I mean, to the car, to what we have here. Because this is a fairly simple and robust design. I have no idea how to attach the steering link yet, but we are gonna solve this. Yeah. So first of all, this is not gonna work because this is too wide. Since we are moving this here before on the suspension that we have on the car, the ball joint here is one stud closer to the wheel. We need to make the mount point here one stud closer. As you know, the first thing that needs to happen. And how are we gonna do this? Obviously, I want to have it as simple as possible because we're just experimenting now. We are just experimenting. Obviously, it's not gonna be like this in the final version. I just want to mount it right now so that we can do something with it. Okay. Okay. Just experimenting. Okay. Yeah, maybe I need to mount this a little bit different. No, it's too optimistic. Should be possible. Come on. Don't give me a hard time. Okay. Where did I go wrong? Okay. Right. This is okay. Camber gain is actually camber gain is exactly what we would desire. Yeah. In the middle, so where this is like that, it's, you know, it's depending on this, it's okay, pretty okay. The suspension arm does not limit this too much, so where, I mean, this is already, you know, we won't be steering more than this anyway, and in this direction it has, you know, a lot of movement. Okay, that's not that bad. Now, how do we mount the spring? That's really the only question here. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's the best we can hope for. Yeah, as Christian said, you know, the scrub radius. So basically, the point of where the wheel is rotating is actually here. This is exactly how it goes. And we do have caster. You know, enough caster. We do have enough caster because these two are offset by one stud. I think that's enough. Should be enough. So this is a relatively simple suspension. Obviously, we can improve on this setup here by using this, of course, which we shall use. I don't know, what would you do, Kristen? I don't know. I'm fine with 10 degrees caster. I guess it's a sports car. Or should we do less? I mean, all of these are possible. No problem. Problem is then the like we have now. It needs neatly is, you know, it's everything is aligned perfectly. The geometry only gets into play when you steer. If you get half a stud off here, then you need to move this as well, and then this compromises the position of the spring. So I don't know. I mean, first of all, we need to see how to mount the spring anyway. So this is making our life easier, this part here, so we can have, you know, more leeway. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking of what the best option would be, actually. So if this is fully yeah, I mean, ideally, see, we are hitting this here, and it's at full drop. At full drop, it's actually limiting us pretty much. So either What's the approximate strength of this? This one spring is strong enough. Maybe. Maybe. Either way, we need to slim this down. This is elegant, very elegant, but it's too wide. Stupid. Okay. Okay, yeah. This allows for all the movements because you see this is now slimmed down and it does not impact this as much as before. So we have enough movement throughout the turning radius. Okay, let's fix the spring somehow. Maybe just temporarily, just to see what's happening. I mean, I guess we're gonna use this here, which is unfortunate in this regard, but what can you do? What can you do? Hey, Maxim. Okay, the stiffness here is much improved. This is pretty good, actually. So right height would be something like this, and then we have, I don't know. I will have to see. We'll have to see about that. But it could be okay. Could be okay. Depends on how it settles. Problem is, our spring mount here is where the steering is. So you see this part here. This is where the steering rack is. This is where the steering rack is. But this gives us a opportunity to combine the steering rack with with the spring mount somehow, making everything stronger, I guess. There is the opportunity to, do something here. So we would modify. We would modify this here. A stud higher what? You mean this here? Yes, but then we would need to have like we need to have, yeah, if it was a stud higher here, so it would be like here, here. We could at the same time provide the mount point for the upper A arm, and here on the here we would do a, well, not, maybe not this here, but something that would provide the mount for the spring. Maybe if we could we use this. Maybe we could use this here. Exactly like this. So we have, wait, now, wait, this. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we could go one step higher as is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we still have a problem with these here. But yeah, if we go one step higher with this, let's see. Yeah, this could go. Yeah, yeah. This is. I think this is the perfect height. This is the perfect height. We want about 3 studs. Yeah, yeah. This is about the perfect height. Problem, of course, is that this lift arm cannot be here because I think it's slightly clashing with this. But anyway, the the bricks here, are are gonna clash with this here. So we have to instead of the bricks here, we are going to use to achieve the same system. We are going to use these here. We are going to use these. Well, basically these. Instead of the bricks, we are going to use these. This should be fine, I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously, these here will have to go. These here, I cannot speak. These here will have to go because otherwise, mm, 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 mm. No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh yeah, right. It's perfect, actually. Perfect. Perfect. Holy shit. Yeah, it's perfect. Um, mhm. This. Um, okay. I'm bad at math. I admit. It's slightly less perfect, but it's still fine. I think. Okay. This is gonna be here. This is here. Hmm. when you have it right the first time, but you're too stupid to realize. Yes, okay. This is surprisingly stiff. Surprisingly. Obviously, we need to re-engineer the attachment point here, but this is actually surprisingly stiff. The top arm doesn't even matter because it's so far away from the hub that it has so much leverage that it can be floppy, and it doesn't matter at all. We don't have to do anything to this. This is actually brilliant, I think. And the steering rack fits in here. We just need to now see how do we connect this to the steering rack. It's you know this is gonna be another challenge. So let's pull let's pull the steering rack. Let's pull the steering rack and see what's happening. I love modularity. I love it. Okay. This should go out, right? There's nothing stopping it. Yeah. Okay. Slight re-engineering, of course. Ouch. Should do this right. There should be two of these on the desk somewhere. One is here. Where is the other one? It's not in the rear suspension. I'm just sure. Ah, here it is. Okay. challenges. Challenges. I mean, obviously we cannot turn them around because we want more movement here, I guess. Wait. Let's center this. Let's center this. Okay. Okay, 90 degrees. Yeah. We cannot have this. So I would like to turn this around so I can have room here in the middle, but no. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But somehow we need to, you know, replace this guy here. We cannot do this here because we don't want anything here. And I do not want this here because we are never gonna be able to put this in because these are never gonna align. It's gonna be a nightmare putting in. You know, basically now with this mod here, this mod of the smooth connectors, we are able to do this. So this is now sitting in here, but we need to, you know, connect the top. Need to connect the top. But if we use something else here, and we immediately get more slack than we want. So if we, instead of the bricks here, if we use like connectors, we are gonna get too much slack. I think. Yeah. Not even sure if I even want to try. What's the distance here? 7 steps. 7 steps. Yeah, we immediately gain slack, but I guess we're gonna have to lose it. I don't know. gonna... No, no, no. No, no, no. Okay. Okay. We're gonna live with it for now. Maybe we find a solution that's okay. Right now, this is gonna live this. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, we're gonna fix it now in the center position. So that we can judge all of this, and then we are going to see what happens. So not sure if we're gonna use this here or something else, but let's try. First, I want to see what the bump steer is doing. So this is... we have a little bit of toe out. What about bump steer? Almost imperceptible. Almost imperceptible. Almost. If we would fix the bumps, the toe, it could be okay. But you know, obviously we need to fix this in place because this is giving us false results, both in toe and no, because small differences can make a big impact here. But before we do anything here, let's see how much deflection we get with 90 degrees. So like this, that's not enough. That's not enough. So we need to bring this closer to the hub. We need to bring this closer to the hub. So yeah. What about the wheel? Where is this in relation? Okay, so we have room here. So we need this here to be closer. This thing needs to be closer. Let's see what happens. How much does this affect this? Okay, we get toe out, obviously. What about bump steer? Okay, bump steer is the same-ish. Okay, let's see about the steering angles. Steering angles. -90 steering angles are with this, they are okay. If we fix the toe, wow, they're excellent. If we fix the toe, we should be golden. Yeah, I think. I guess this is the delay, and because this link now is good, I think. But yeah, we need to fix the toe. We need to fix the toe. So how do we fix the toe? In a real world scenario, we would have a threaded rod here, and we would just make this shorter. We don't have that luxury here, so we need to think differently. I would say we are talking about our usual measurement here, which is half a stud, or not even that. Yeah, not even that. Not even half a stud. Mm. One, two, three. One, two, three. Just experimenting, okay? So, just experimenting. Do not take this too seriously, because this is gonna be very compromising anyway. And I do not want it to be made like this. But I need to know. Okay, so this is much. The other way. Okay, but this is, yeah, this isn't gonna be okay because this is gonna clash. It's gonna clash, yeah. don't know. I don't know. I mean, if we had something like this, maybe, but this is gonna clash with this here. But we cannot have anything like this in the bottom. Right. I'm just gonna, you know, doing an experiment. It's not gonna work, but I need to try. I don't know. Somehow I have the feeling that we are going to need to modify this up right here. But I don't know how. Oh yeah, and we are getting bump steer, of course, yeah, because this needs to be one step lower, or this one step higher. Yeah, but maybe this is the problem here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is a problem. And obviously this is not gonna fit in the wheel. Okay. This is surprisingly straight. Bump steer is not noticeable. What about angle? Angles are not the best. To put it mildly, not the best. Not the best. Or maybe let's put the wheel on. Let's see. So this is straight. This is 90 degrees inwards. This is 90 degrees outwards. As I said, not the best. This needs to come closer. How? I mean, the full turning circle, if allowed, of course, it's gonna be fine. But we are working with the servo, so we are limited to 90 degrees to travel. So we need to keep that in mind. But that's too much for me today. So we are gonna leave it today with this. I think this is a hell of a lot simpler than this here. A hell of a lot simpler than this here. it is lighter, fewer parts, easier to build. No, we just need to figure out the steering. It's fun as is if we do not use the servo, but since we use the servo, we need this here to be closer to this. I think there is a solution, of course. We are going to explore it tomorrow. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. I mean, it's Saturday. Maybe we'll see. If I feel up to it, if I don't have anything to do, we can experiment with this in the afternoon, like we did last weekend with the Manta. We can see about this. First thing I would do probably is switch this lift arm here to the inside. Maybe we can. No, it's not gonna fit. We'll see. Maybe we can do, I don't know. Maybe we can do this here. So in this here, and then we can have this part here on the outside. I don't know. We'll see. There are solutions, I think. There are solutions. Maybe the end result will be better. But of course, if we bring this closer, this is gonna make this go out. So then we can correct it. I don't know how. I will see. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. But I am pretty happy with this. Pretty happy with this. And of course we need to fix the lower wishbone because this is just unacceptable. You know, this is unacceptable. Either we create a, a link here like we have on the other one. I think it's possible. If we modify things here. Or use different pieces, I don't know. We have room here. Yeah. Yeah, we have some room here to do something. We can put something like this here. I don't know. We'll figure something out tomorrow or on Monday. But I have nothing planned. I have nothing planned for tomorrow. So maybe if it's raining outside, yeah, could do. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. It went better than expected, to be honest. And I see you in the next stream.